1, go.
Okay, so this is the sheep heart, and this would be the, let me actually take this one because it's a little better. And this would be the left ventricle, and this is the, right here, the left atrium, separated by the bicuspid valves. It can be seen right here. And similarly, this is the right ventricle. This is the right ventricle right here. And the right atrium is up there, and it's separated by the tricuspid valves. You can't really see them, however, because they're kind of covered. When it comes to the great vessels, since this is the anterior side, as we can tell by the pulmonary artery or trunk right here, and it passes through the right side of the heart, the right ventricle. And it's separated by a pulmonary semilunar valve. Again, it can't really be seen, but it's there. Here we have the aorta, and it's separated from the left ventricle by a semilunar aortic valve. And also there's this thing called brachiocephalic artery, and it's connected to the aorta, but you can't really see it here because there's nothing really connected to the aorta, but it's there. And it's used to send blood to the arms and the brain, because brachiocephalic. Here we see on the posterior side, this is the superior vena cava, and it connects to the inferior vena cava. So superior vena cava, inferior vena cava, and right here in the left atrium are were the pulmonary veins. In terms of, I think I identify all the valves, so yeah, I think we're good.
1, go.
Okay, so this is the epicardium, this part is the myocardium, and then that part is the endocardium, and then the interventricular septum is right here, and then right here is the interventricular sulcus, and then the papillary muscles are right here, and then right here they close the valves of the chordae tendineae, so they're pulling on them and they close the valves.
So right now you're currently looking at the anterior orientation of the heart. You can tell because the pulmonary artery is facing forward. If it's not, then you're looking at it in the posterior view. So let's talk about circulation. Oh, and by the way, what I should mention is that the left ventricle walls are thicker than the right ventricle walls. So that's how you can tell that you're looking at the left side of the heart versus the right side of the heart. So now let's talk about circulation, where its process has 2 parts. The deoxygenated blood starts off in the right atrium and then empties from the tricuspid valve into the right ventricle. From there, the right ventricle carries the blood over to the pulmonary valve, where then the pulmonary valve takes it over to the imaginary lungs, I guess, that you can't really see. So then, after that, the blood gets transported to the left atrium, where now it's actually oxygenated blood provided by the lungs. Then the oxygenated blood leaves the left atrium and enters the mitral valve into the left ventricle. And the last step is that the left ventricle then carries this oxygenated blood to the aortic valve, which carries the blood to the aorta and transports it to the rest of the body. Oh, by the way, I should probably mention that when the deoxygenated blood was being carried from the right atrium to the right ventricle and then to the lungs, that's called pulmonary circulation. And then when it was oxygenated blood and it was transported through the left atrium, through the left ventricle, and transported to the rest of the body, that's called systemic circulation. By the way, a heart attack is caused by one or more of your coronary arteries being blocked. This is known as coronary artery disease, and it is one of the leading causes of heart attacks today.